Well, the first thing that happened the first day was my arm was shaking really bad while I was waiting. But during the treatment, it stopped shaking, and the shaking's been much better in my right arm since.
I saw a definite improvement in my tremor.
I haven't had any pain in my left foot at all. I told my husband when he left today that I feel the most normal that I have felt in 8 years.
I've noticed I'm freer and walking better.
My breathing changed, my balance when I was standing changed, just, while he was working on me, and it was good.
I had a sore that was on my arm that hadn't healed in 3 or 4 months, and normally it could take even a year for it to heal. And I woke up this morning and it's gone. And the only thing different is I came here.
The Domancic method of bioenergy therapy was officially introduced to the United States in 2007. Since then, our seminars have spread across the country. To demonstrate the beneficial effects of bioenergy to the public, we started the Bioenergy Life Project, a non-profit foundation that organizes 4-day healing events. We specialized in conditions which are considered incurable, along with chronic, long-time, debilitating diseases. By documenting the results of the events, we want to spark the interest of the public to help establish donation-run Bioenergy Life Project centers across the U.S. During the summer of 2009, the first Bioenergy Life Project was held in Los Angeles. 7 therapists from Slovenia, Hawaii, London and Vancouver donated their time and travel expenses to demonstrate the effectiveness of the method, which in turn helped the 40 or so participants, many of whom were diagnosed with Parkinson's. Here are the insights of the therapists and the people involved.
I was thinking this morning it's a miracle, really, because I had severe pain in my left leg, which I felt was a progression of the Parkinson's that I just hadn't had any positive results with through diet or exercise or any of the other things I was doing. And the pain was getting worse. I have no pain. I have not had pain for 3 days. On the second day, I reduced my medication by 1/3, which was a major step for me. And my goal is to get off medication completely.
The biggest improvement is in the biggest complaint, if I may say, the fatigue, the lack of motivation, which comes from the development of the illness. And I have felt much better, in a much better mood, much more responsive to the process which is happening here. The very casual atmosphere, the lack of rigidity, which made me very relaxed, very rested, and including in it is the openness to being healed.
By the second day, people stopped shaking. They were able to eat differently. One person stopped me at the cafeteria and they said, "Look at me, I'm not shaking anymore." One person that could barely eat, she said, "Well, I'm eating with chopsticks."
I've been having help with my tremor. I have Parkinson's, and tremor is one of the things that the medication that I've been on has not helped me with. So I think I have had some help with the tremor. I still need more improvement, but my tremor has lessened.
Just feeling mentally and physically better, so I'm happy.
And then you had Linda, who came in a wheelchair, and she walked out by herself on the first day. After treatment, it takes about half an hour. And she's improved. Her tremors have, one side is completely gone. The other side is okay. It comes back every now and then, but it's a lot less. It doesn't hinder her anymore. Her balance it's absolutely amazing. How she can walk, she learned to turn. She changed mentally and emotionally as well. There's one thing I think very profound that she said is, I don't look at it as an illness anymore. For me now, it's health.
I've got, they call it Guillain-Barré syndrome. It's a peripheral neuropathy. and I'm still having trouble with my feet, but they're better than they were before. I keep on making progress. I'm impressed.
You know, sleeping at night, when before I had extensive burning in my lower legs, and you know, after the first day's treatment, there was virtually no burning that night.
Even just in this short window where I've done this, I believe it's had a profound impact on me. Something simple. After I got hit in the head about 10 years ago, I've had trouble opening my hands. And this is, for me, opening my fingers wider, more comfortably, is something I haven't been able to do since I got cracked in the head some years ago. So this is something that's very noticeable for me.
My injury point has decompressed a lot. I'm able to move, I'm able to use my arm during the day without pain. And I noticed the discoloration that usually goes with it because it's being compressed isn't there. With my ear, I haven't felt that much except that the ringing has dropped a couple notches.
There were 2 women actually that came with problems with edema and swelling in their body, and both lost several pounds over the course of one night, just losing fluid.
The first night I lost 2 pounds, which is, that's mega, because that doesn't happen.
She's raising the legs like one knee probably about 15 centimeters above the other now, which on the first day was maybe 2.
I physically feel much better. The heat is returning to my body. The energy is returning. I'm starting to feel younger. Not that I've ever felt old. I'm not caught in this old because you're this number stuff. But just the energy that I feel is just resounding.
V kliniko je prišla tudi gospa z limsko boleznijo, z limsko boreliozo, v zelo težkem stanju. Njene roke so praktično krvavele, prizadeto je celo telo, imela je tudi operacijo na glavi. Ona se s to boleznijo bori že 3 leta, s tem, da so se zdaj rezultati v 4 dneh pokazali kot izjemni. Torej, gospe se je že naslednji dan izboljšala kri, kar je bilo preverjeno medicinsko. Veliko lažje je hodila in zmanjšale so se ji bolečine v rokah in nogah.
And I have Lyme's disease with multi-parasitic infestations and co-viral bacterial infections. And I had a lesion that was on my arm that used to be right here that disappeared after the second day of being here. I went to visit my doctor yesterday, and he checked my blood and noticed that the color of my blood was so much better than it had ever been. And he told me to go back there, which I did. And so I noticed an instant change, and a scientific one, because we're, looking at the blood.
One of the highest points for me was seeing one of the ladies that I've actually known for a number of months who has Parkinson's, and she has it very badly. And to see her get up with help, but to be able to get up out of her chair and walk. And the lady today goes, hallelujah, because she felt it was almost a miracle. And it was a privilege to be able to witness that.
Overall, not only physically but mentally, I feel more rejuvenated. My spirit is better, coping with things is better.
I've had several more days of not having so much tremor. I came in and had a sore throat, and that's been improving. I think it's a general thing. It's not like one thing. It's a sense of well-being rather than a healing of this symptom or that symptom. So it's a beginning in the right direction, I think.
Over the 4 days, I can see a significant improvement overall. But how to identify it and put it into words is really difficult. And there's also an astonishment with the belief system.
It gave me like a jolt, so it was the moment when I understood, I hope forever, the power of the energy and the power of any kind of procedure, any kind of protocol which ends up by healing people through energetic means. Something was happening into my system, that something was sort of flowing into my system, and there was most likely a lot of resistance in me, as it is in all of us. You know, we don't let ourselves be energized very easily because, you know, we have our own rules in our minds. And I felt the resistance because the jolt of energy was very powerful.
Me, I had profound experience with this. It was moving my whole body the whole time, you know, and I couldn't stay still. I just literally experienced energy moving my body, really moving my body in big ways, profound ways. On the third day, I had a real cathartic experience. My whole body was like almost just taken over with some energy. It seemed like it was unwinding some trauma or something in me. And it was definitely a big, real energy movement in my body.
First day I got work done. I mean, it was just, I was standing there and I felt my breathing change. I felt my balance, my hips shifted and so on. And I hadn't done anything. I was there, and it really felt good.
A sense of relaxation, actually, calming and relaxation.
I felt an energy coming through, you know, and a wave. It was like a wave flooding through, and then you could feel when they were doing the takeaway that, you know, the pain and all that needed to be removed was being removed. And there was a distinct difference, for sure. And each time that I've come, I felt a different level, that it was reaching in a different level, and that my body and my heart and mind were in sync to be more receptive. And the more receptive one is, the deeper it goes. So, and the ultimate feeling of it is one of deep happiness.
I could feel the hands even when they weren't touching me. They were touching me. I could feel the heat. And it was very positive.
I've noticed over the course of the 4 days in working here that I've actually felt better over the course of the 4 days. I woke up today feeling absolutely fantastic. And I think that's a testament to the method, that just in working with it, it's almost therapy for the therapist, because I feel better today than I did when I walked in here on the first day. I think the energy changes in here over the 4 days, and I feel great.
You know, I believe in this energy work, but when it happens to me, it's like, wow, did that really, you know, or you feel somebody's hand on you and one of their hands is hot and the other one's cold, or one of their, you know, and then they move it to another position and the hand that was hot is a cold hand and another hand's cold. And it just, you know, my engineering background wants logic to this, and there's not really that much logic. But I know something's working, and it certainly creates a change every time.
I had really strong sensations in my the area where I have a vein impingement, ranging from heat to muscles contracting and relaxing. And I also had strong sensations of energy, heat moving in my my ear canal.
With just putting your hands on someone or putting the hands on me, that I can either cease to have a reaction or create a reaction, and how powerful it is both for the therapist working with me, and then I have some of these powers myself to create that healing. So it's been both helpful for me and both mentally and physically.
The group energy changes over the course of the 4 days, and a real sense of community is created, which I think is really, really unique with this method and with the group clinic. When people come in on the first day, they don't know what to expect. They're a little bit closed, they're sitting in their chairs, sort of observing. And then as the days progress, people really, really open up, and you can see it when they walk in the door. Their faces brighten, their moods brighten, they're interacting with each other. They celebrate all of the changes that happen with each other, and I just think that's something really, really unique and really special, and something I haven't seen anywhere else.
One of the most important experiences we had here was to witness other people getting better, and this is like a miracle. You see the people coming in the wheelchair, unable to move, numb, frozen in their illness. And suddenly, a day or two later, you see a limb moving, you see a hand raising, and what is more important, you see how the healing is wakening up in them, the healer inside. And I think this is an extremely important thing you are doing here. Allowing people to see, allowing us all to see how other people improve, how other people move from a state of numbness into a state of activity of their system. And for that, I think the experience at your event, it's worth everything.
It's been interesting to see different therapists working and to watch how people have changed, and that it's not necessarily one person who's the healer, but everybody's energy and the room's energy. I think it has a sense of belonging and power.
Interesting to see, and it's wonderful to hear the changes from the other people and hear people's pain reduction, and so that's encouraging, because you realize that it's not all in your own mind. So when you're out there on your own and you get treated, you think, the doubt starts to creep in. And but when you see it happen with so many people, and you see some changes, that one lady walking, it's wonderful to recognize that significant changes can happen in a short time.
I think it's a wonderful community of people who care in many ways, on many levels. And I felt this from the first moment I entered into the room. I felt a great welcoming and a nurturance, which is the foundation for healing.
I think the generosity of spirit for the persons who have come all this way to help people is quite amazing and overwhelming. And the energy that is projected in the room is, you can feel it when you walk into the room. There's a good part of the camaraderie of having persons to talk with over these 4 days and get their experiences, because one doesn't know what's happening with anybody else. You just know what's happening within yourself. And to hear, it's almost like a jet propulsion to hear what's happening with other persons and how they're feeling and their healing. It's so motivational.
I am aware of the energy in a room. It's obviously very powerful here. It is the fact that the bodies are sensitive to these things, and there's a lot of potential with this kind of treatment.
Well, the fact that people can heal with invasive things like medications, so much better. I believe in that.
A remarkable experience to see people, particularly myself also, changing. Today's Thursday, this is the 4th day. From Monday till today, I can't even believe the change that my body feels.
Zanimljivo je da pridejo pacijenti z željo, da bi se jim stanje popravilo. Istočasno pa že prvi dan opaziš nek strah oziroma nek čuden občutek, in že takoj naslednji dan, ko pridejo na terapijo, pridejo dosti bolj odprti z presenetljivimi zgodbami, kako se jim je stanje čez noč popravilo oziroma bistveno izboljšalo, več, kot pa so pričakovali.
Everyone that I have spoken to, and I've met a lot of new people that I didn't know before, has had some positive result, some in a bigger magnitude than others. But everybody has had some success, and that's wonderful.
Every time someone comes up and says, you know, my pain is better, or I feel better, you know, I had a gentleman say, I don't know that my disease is gone, but he said, I woke up today and I had more vitality. You know, if someone can make even just a small shift in their condition, I think that's huge, and that's huge for some people.
This is something that is a method that is really easy to learn and use, and we can offer it to so many other people, and people who can't be helped by any other method. One thing that was really impressive to me was how beautifully everybody worked together. The people that worked together didn't all know each other, but it was like they knew the method, and they were able to adapt with one another to serve the people that were here.
It was effortless. We worked together like a well-oiled machine, and I actually had a client commented to us that she could feel like our energies totally meshed and working in synchronicity. And because the method is so simple, it just flowed, it just worked, and we just worked really, really well together.
Delam si skrbi okrog jezika, niti okrog prostora, niti okrog časa, ker vem, kakšne rezultate ta metoda ima.
It's so easy to match people together that never have seen each other in their lives and do the same thing the way we've been taught, all of us the same way. It's so easy to pair up and just go and do the job.
I always enjoy doing this just because, not that I see the changes that happen, but for myself it gives rise to this very natural joy that just comes naturally from inside.
Zoran said something to me yesterday that is still very, very present in my consciousness. And it was like, it rang so true that it just kind of sliced, one of those statements that slices through ignorance. And it was profound for me. He said that there are those who need to be healthy to be happy. And he said, you need to be happy to be healthy.
The idea of looking at health and happiness rather than disease, and that's a beginning to healing, I think, is what you believe and what is in your thoughts all the time, because well, those things seem to be magnified.
They all said they want to continue. They were more worried that this clinic is going to go and they have no one to look after them. So they all want to continue with their treatments.
I feel that it's definitely helped me, and I see that it's helped other people. So I intend to pursue it afterwards.
Well, I believe this will work. I don't know how much benefit I'll get after just 4 days, though I have some in the shaking. Seems like worth trying, because I've tried some other things that just didn't work. We've had lots of people come to my PRO support groups with things that are supposed to help, and I've tried them all, but they didn't, but I think this might.
So this has been one of those positive things towards my health and improving my health. And I hope that I have an opportunity, and I hope I will have an opportunity, I will make an opportunity to continue to experience this therapy so that I can have more positives than negatives in my life.
This kind of setup should be in every country, in every community, reachable for everyone.
Each day they saw a little improvement in some regard or another, and that's an amazing thing for disease. So I would like to see these clinics all over the US, all over the world for that matter, and with the kind of thing that is being developed where even people that don't have a lot of funds can participate, and the opportunity for people to be able to donate where they can help others have what they see is really working.
I've just enjoyed being here.
And I want to thank everyone here from, you know, my heart, at a heart space, because what you're doing is not only a wave within my own self, but it's going out to the planet.